good morning, beautiful ladies in the building. Good morning to all my listener out there. Good morning to you, and happy new day.
It's a new day.
Yes, it's
Please,
a
you people
new
should stop
day, and
singing. Your
it's
voice is not sounding
I'm
nice
not
today.
singing, not you people.
Oh
Don't generalize
yeah.
it, please.
Stop
It's a
making
new
noise.
day. Oh
And
yeah.
today happens to be International Women's Day. And on this note, we say Happy International Women's Day to all the women and beautiful ladies out there.
Yo,
Starting
yo,
from
yo.
me, down to Simi, down to Jennifer Jubril. Happy International Women's Day to you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy International Women's Day to you too.
All right, it's another edition of the newspaper review here on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio station, powered by the Diocese of Lagos, Anglican Communion. Yes, we have so many papers here today. We'll try as much as possible to cover them. But in the meantime, don't forget to like and follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook is at Lagoon Radio Nigeria. On Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. You can also download the Lagoon Radio app on Google Play Store and App Store, irrespective of the device that you use. My name is Taiwo Adeola Shabiolebe, and I have with me in the studio Simidele Olabisi. Okay. Good morning once again.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, as Shab said, today is International Women's Day, so I'm actually going to be international throughout today. So in case you're not actually you can't actually hear what I'm saying, you need to go international, just like I want to go international. Thank you.
All right, and Jennifer. Good morning once
I
again.
I just heard the local version of US English, but it's okay. It's okay. So long as I can understand what you are saying, but no problem. Me, I don't want to go any international anything. But yes, Happy International Women's Day to me. I'm international already. Of course, of course. Um,
All right. In no particular that we have the Nigerian pilot, we have Daybreak newspaper, Daily Independent, Nigerian Tribune, Blueprint newspaper, National Economy Leadership This Day, New Telegraph, Daily Trust, Daily Champion. We'll try as much as possible to cover up all those papers today. I'll be starting with the Nigerian pilot. On the paper, we'll see Sunday Igboho released, handed over to Banji Akintoye in Benin. This story is on page 7, and on page 5, ASU strike. Adamu inaugurates committee on 2009 agreement renegotiation. Moving on to page 8, APC crisis, why Buni was sacked. And the writers to that says presidency, governors accuse him of plans to undermine interest of APC that he allegedly sat on court order issued since November 18, 2021. Governor saw his action as another plot to stall rescheduled national convention. CECPC Secretary Akpanu Duedehe denies report, insists Boni still in charge. All of this you can read on page 8 of the Nigerian pilot. Drug trafficking, Abakari pleads not guilty. Co-accused pleads guilty. All of this story you can read on page 6. Okay, I learned 2 people pleaded guilty and 4 of them pleaded not
Yeah,
guilty. 5 of them plus Abakari.
Abakari and 7 others.
Oh, that's interesting. You might want to find out on page 6. Federal government will not allow Nigerians join ongoing fight in Ukraine, says minister.
who asked you?
The thing is, have you finished fighting your country?
See, let me tell you. Any Nigerian that wants to go and fight in Ukraine should go. It's the money that they are after.
Which money?
The one-
Is it not? Is
the
it not?
one that they are paying them? Yeah, it did not reach. Sure, you want to fight for something that not even reach you to buy a gigi bread.
So like,
Na person.
let's
Na
say it's practically a matter of if I perish, I perish.
na person will survive. Go collect money. No be so.
No, you know say for that place, if the person don't survive, they go pay am more. Now say they work for there.
Oh, so he wants to die so they can pay his family more.
Hey, he's suffering for his family.
Okay,
What
you
a
never.
sacrifice.
Sacrifice me. You have to prepare for the future.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
it's called future investment.
Wow.
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 Wow. Wow.
Wow.
All right, Bauchi accident involving Bauchi accident, involving 3 vehicles claimed 12 lives. That's on page 5. That's an unfortunate one. Court stops Buhari, AGF, National Assembly, and others from tampering with electoral acts. That's on page 6. And on page 7, MD, presidency calls for socio-political empowerment of women. That's on page 7. And Rep Summon FCT minister over 55 acres of land allocation. That's on page 9. And on page 5, at the bottom of the paper, oil and gas coils owe Federation account 1.32 trillion naira, says NAITE or NFITE. NEIT, that's on page 5. And on the front page, we can see pictures of with literature there. You find out when you get the paper. That's all on the Nigerian Pilot.
Okay, I'll be taking Daybreak Nigeria, and right at the top, I have China backs Russia over Ukraine.
It's expected.
That's on page 8 of Daybreak Nigeria. And the major headline says confusion in APC as Niger governor takes over party leadership. And the writers to that says, I have been acting for a while since the chairman traveled, says Bello, as administers oath of office on state chairpersons of the APC. And Shehu Sani mocks APC, saying it is a coup in the ruling party. And we have some other headlines. Okay, you can get the full details on page 2 of Daybreak Nigeria. And we have some other headlines on page 5. Lassa fever kills 98 in 2 months, says NCDC. And talking about this Lassa fever, I actually got a news, an information from a reliable source over the weekend. 2 medical doctors lost their lives treating Lassa fever patients, and they were so young and promising doctors, you know. So I can get that on page 5. And still on page 5, Nigerian troop kills 17 terrorists in Borno. And still on the same page 5, NNPC moves to buy federal government's oil plants. I think I actually heard that too in the news this morning. Okay, it is well. On to page 6, first subsidy. World Bank projects 4 trillion naira for 2022. Experts predict more loan, and we are still sitting on loan, obviously, and you know, more loan.
The moment you're borrowing loan to pay loan.
So more loan.
You wrap it out to people.
More loan.
My loans.
So I think I have here on page 4, Ukraine-Russia war. Nigeria may face commodity supply disruptions, says International Monetary Fund. I think we actually took that in our newspaper review yesterday as well. Okay. And last week we read that the federal government is going to affect supply of bread. Anonymous. So on to page 10, NNPC releases additional 381.8 million liters of fuel to address shortages. And I think it actually worked, because yesterday as I was returning home, I just entered the filling station uninterrupted, like that. I bought in my car, bought in jerrycan. There was no extra charges for jerrycan as usual. So still on page 10, ASU absent as federal government inaugurates panel for 2009 agreement. I actually saw that again this morning in the news. I'm like 2009.
Yes, now that was the same 2009 agreement that caused the strike in 2012, caused the strike in 2016, caused the same strike in 2017, 2018. and it's what is causing
That's
the same
13
strike.
years ago.
Yep.
It's just rubbish because it's like you're going back, you're having a bargain, an ongoing bargain, and you're going back to what, like she explained,
Exactly.
It is the same
so like
2009
that means
agreement.
the 1 month warning strike is posing another threat to more strikes.
To more strike. Exactly.
One month. Thank God. I'm glad you called it warning. I've told my brother to go and relax and make money because that's how we stayed at home for 8 months. It started from 2 weeks. It started from 2 weeks warning strike.
If you had known, you'd have.
See, and I was just doing. We'll soon go back. We'll soon go back. We'll soon go back.
That's our 8 months wish.
Okay. Still on Daybreak Nigeria on page 10, NDLEA arraigns Abba Kyari, co-accused plead guilty to drug trafficking charges. And the picture at the front page shows Abba Kyari with the other co-accusers. Some are bending their head, some are covering their head in with white handkerchief, some are covering up with face masks, some are covering with their own hands. Some are not even some are looking to the other side.
For me.
It's actually the picture for me, really, and it's like coming to my brain like, okay, let's assume you now did this thing. Okay, let's just assume. So while you were doing it, were you covering your face, covering your head, covering everywhere? Now that you're just
widely open.
It's not concerning.
Did you think of this day?
Exactly.
No, they didn't know they would make the headlines like this.
So majorly, that's actually a lesson that in everything we do, we should think of the future. That's that about us. So that's all about. That's all on Daybreak Nigeria.
Okay, Daily Independent. At the top of the page, we have two headlines, both on page 6. We won't tolerate recruitment of Nigerians to fight for Ukraine, says federal government. And we have court bars Buhari, AGF, NAS from amending new electoral act. I like this. Wow. So after struggling to sign the act, they now say they want to amend. Then it's good that court did not agree. So you can get more on page 6 for both headlines. And the major headline is confusion, intrigue over APC caretaker committee headship. The writer to that says, pro-Tinubu governors take over CECPC. Acting chairman says Governor Sani Bello. Buni on medical leave says Akpanu He has betrayed trust, says Lukman. It says Sage welcomes development. You can read all of that on page 29. ASU and SANU, Sean federal government renegotiation committee inauguration. That's on page 6. And on page 7 we have excitement greets release of Sunday Igboho. We also have on page 7 oil price pushes towards $130 amid embargo concerns on Russian oil. And still on page 7, oil gas firms owe federal government 1.32 trillion naira since 2020, says NEITI. NNPC indicates interest to acquire federal government's power plants. That's on page 29. And we have monarchs, bishops blame presidency, governors for Southeast insecurity. And that is on page 29. And cocaine deal. Court remands Abba Kyari and 6 others. That's on page 6. And that's on the bottom of the Daily Independent.
So moving on to the Nigerian Tribune, boldly written on the top page, Osun PDP Guba Primary, Ogunbiyi Akinbade, 2 others withdraw on page 23. And on page 2, court stops Buhari, Malami, Lawan from tampering with electoral acts. Customs bow to public pressure, suspends VIN for 31 days on page 7. OAU student's mother, court denies Adedoye and 6 others bail. The writer under that says, wife weeps, cries for justice as she testifies in court on page 27. And, still on page 27, concerning the case of the BRT lady who got missing, it says that passenger found dead as well, driver arrested and speaks. Concerning all this particular story, I had a conversation with my mom yesterday night and still asking,
I'm happy that now they found another female passenger, because I was asking why was she the only one, because they had an investigation with the driver saying that the assassins entered the bus and then they asked him to move towards the Qatar bridge. That's when it happened and all of that.
Qatar bridge.
Yes, that's where they dumped her. So they were like, I was not asking myself that why is she the only one if you said okay, people are in the bus. So let's still wait on more investigations that's still going on, but I know there's something fishy about this story in question.
Then I actually saw late yesterday night I saw a video that she recorded. One of her siblings posted it, that she recorded, and she was like telling that sibling that she shouldn't tell anybody and all that, she should just be praying for her. She zoomed the driver's face, like, just an update. Like, I don't know, I don't understand.
And really these days, if you're in public transit and you're not comfortable with the environment, it's just best for you to get down.
Exactly.
Don't look at the money that you paid.
Find an excuse to come down.
Before you even enter, once you peep, like personally, before I enter a commercial transport, once I peep and check everyone inside, forget it. If your faces are not friendly,
I've actually done
your
that.
Your faces might be friendly, but you're
something just grant us the ability to discern.
Yes, I think this happened to me sometime last year. I was coming from an event. It was really late, and I used Uber, and we're coming from Ikeja, just on what's this bridge?
Third Mainland Bridge.
Not Third Mainland. Yeah, Third Mainland. And then he took a detour. He followed them instead of him getting to the end of Third Mainland, where you not Yanoworo, like divert to Obalende.
Okay.
He took a detour around Sura.
They do those things.
And I was like, why are you taking here? See where I'm going. Look at where I'm going.
Tell you they don't know.
He now told me that the map said so. I said, which map said so? I'm actually looking at the map. Now, this thing I do is that I have my location shared by default.
Exactly.
Like, not even when I'm on transit. I have one person I know I really, really trust, and even as I'm here, he knows where I am. So even if sometimes you might get overwhelmed by situations and everything, you might not remember to share your location. So I just did that say, you know what, just be able to track me. Now I tried not to do it with my mom, because my mom can just get so I had to just give it to someone I know. Okay, yes, but you'll be able to manage the situation. We don't pray for bad things to happen. And he just took a detour and took me inside Surah. Thankfully, I know the area. Thank God I know the area. So I was waiting for him to make another stupid move. And
probably take you back to,
do you understand? And as silly as it may sound, I don't move around without a pen knife. Yes.
Really?
Actually, it is that bad. Apart from when I know I'm coming to the studio. I learned that in school, in my final year, after they robbed me. So I don't move around without, you see that small orange knife? It's always somewhere in my bag. Especially when I know that I'm not coming to work. I know that you people here cannot do me anything.
Proper Edo picking.
No, but I know that I'm not coming to work. But when I know I'm going somewhere else, where I don't know anybody, where I know it's just me and some random people, I'm not even sure whether late at night or broad daylight, there is a knife in my bag. That is how Lagos has
exactly. It's not even whether commercial. Even
I'm telling you,
and you see people that
you should be able to save yourself first.
Do you understand? They want to do madam. Me, I will not stay at the back. I will stay in front with you.
Let's drag the steering together.
Both of us will come down from that bridge.
And there's actually something these Uber drivers do. Once you order them and they get to you, they will request you to do an offline.
Yes,
okay, no, I think we are using the general term of Uber. All these car hailing services.
Exactly.
Yeah, seriously, they'll tell you to request.
Not Uber per se.
I will ask you why. Why offline?
They even give you the excuse that it's full, and I'm like, I don't understand.
I don't care. I'm paying for it.
If you're not okay with it, then park your car.
I'm paying for it. If you know you don't like my charges, please, I'm not going in.
So please, in every area that we find, let's just be security conscious. It's very important. So moving on to page 14, it says that Kyari to remain in NDLEA custody till March 14th, and the write down that says 2 co-accused plead guilty to 3-count charge. The major headline here says Nigeria government assumes APC chair says I will have Buhari's blessings in quotes. The rider under that says swears in state chairman. APC zoning committee submits reports to Bello, Sanwo-Olu, Bello, Zulum Uzodima in attendance. Boni will resume his position today, says associates. All of these and more can be found on page 22. Moving on to page 25, federal government gives 7-man committee 3 months to renegotiate with ASU. And on page 2, it says, I was not sacked by IBB for fraud, Fale says. As regards 2023 elections on page 8, Obasanjo writes about corrupt presidential aspirant, but like other news headlines, and it's still by the EFCC chairman. And on page 2, Shoyinka Akintoye Adeniran secure Igboho's release. It says it was released on medical grounds. Lawyer Aliyu says on page 2. You can read up more for more of the gist on the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, quickly because of our time, I'll take the Blueprint newspaper. Scarcity relief as NNPCL places 48 Abuja stations on 24-hour service.
Better.
Yeah, that story is on the front page and you can continue reading on page 6. The major story there says APC leadership confusion as Sani Bello takes over Buni's faith uncertain. And the writer to that says, I have Buhari's blessing as acting party chair. Don't know your big governor's position. No change in leadership, says Akpanu would do head the hair. I'm sorry. Buni party scribe may resign today, says source. Buhari never endorsed Adamu, says Badari. All of these stories you can read on page 6. Igboho regains freedom after 231 days in detention. Why activists can't leave Benin Republic now, says counsel. That's also on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. And at the bottom of the paper, cocaine deal, Abba Kyari's co-accused persons plead guilty. That's on page 20. And on page 21, Ganduje, Emir of Kano, and others unveil Dala Dry Port logo in Abuja. Also on page 22, banks borrowing from CBN stands at 666 billion naira. And of course, on page 16, CVR INEC registers another 6.6 million naira in third quarter. Page 15, court stops Buhari orders from further amending Electoral Act 2022. And on page 14, Lassa fever kills 98 in 2 months nationwide. And of course, Hunters Council trained 700 to confront banditry in Northwest. That's on page 15. And on the front page, you have pictures there. Get to find out when you read the paper. Let's just take one more paper before.
Okay, let me take the leadership papers, and we've talked about the uncertainty over Buni's fate as Sani Bello takes charge of APC affairs. Then we won't tolerate Nigerians joining Ukrainian army. That's federal government says. So the federal government is trying to protect the interest of its citizens. At last, Benin Republic releases Igboho. That's on page 6. And the custom bows to pressure, suspends VIN automation system. That's on page 26 of the leadership papers. Brent hits $123 PB dollars. Traders predict $200 price by month end. That's on page 25 of the leadership papers. Court to PMB, AGF. They said, don't tamper with Electoral Act 2022. That's on page 8 of the leadership papers. And right at the front page, we have the picture of the women that will influence 2023 election, celebrating International Women's Day. I can see Aisha Buhari, Dolapo Shibajo, Patience Jonathan, Abike Dabiri, and others. So they are the women that will influence
Oshibajo's wife
election. 2023 elections. So happy International Women's Day, ladies.
Thank you.
That'll be all on the leadership papers.
Okay, I wish we could go further, but I think majority all these papers here carries the same story. So to save time, we're going to call it a wrap. Thank you very much for being a part of this newspaper review this morning. It comes up every day from 9:30 to 10 a.m. here on Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio station, powered by the Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion. Tomorrow is going to be another edition you don't want to miss out. Don't forget to like and follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook is at Lagoonradio.Ng, on Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. You can also download the Lagoon Radio app on Google Play Store and App Store. My name is Taiwo Adeola Shabilegbe, and thanks to Simdele Olabisi. Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Also, the beautiful lady sitting in front of me, my forward front. Coin Solami, Olua Coin Solami, Allahu Olori Ebi1. Thank you for coming in on the show. Jennifer Yubri, aka Jennifer Jubri.
It's a goggle for me. Now why Paris?
I was going to ask me what's going on.
You not see that as I use this Google to do newspaper review, I saw the pages.
The glasses alone self will not make them rob people.
Do you understand? And I release my artificial data.
All right, thank you very much to amiable listeners out there. You all are the real MVP. Keep listening to Lagoon Radio and have a lovely day ahead. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.